important announcement from HDFC Bank. A giant interest rate for your fixed deposit that you deposit this month. Enjoy special interest rates based on deposit amount and the government security. Call 0718 800 999. HDFC.
In a few moments, the news.
A giant interest rate for your fixed deposit that you deposit this month. Enjoy special interest rates based on deposit amount and the government security.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(1:15). This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The afternoon news edited by Romesh Piris and read by Soundithavam. The National Tree Planting Programme aimed at planting 2 million trees under the theme of Usmadena Thuru programme gets underway. The Department of Manpower and Employment requests youth to register with the district job centres established across the country. Schools to reopen on November 23rd except in the Western Province and lockdown areas. The coronavirus recovery tally is on the increase. All trains scheduled for this weekend cancelled. The Mahasangha requests all Buddhists across the island to fly yellow flags at their residences on Sunday as a mark of respect to the late Chief Prelate of the Ramana chapter, Most Venerable Napane Pemasirithera. In international news, lockdowns not needed if 95% wear masks. And in sports, tennis ATP Finals 2020, Rafael Nadal beats Stefanos Tsitsipas to make last four. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa today took part in the National Tree Planting Programme aimed at planting 2 million trees under the theme of Usmadena Thuru programme. The programme, which comes under the President's manifesto of Vistas of Prosperity and Splendour, got underway this morning at Battaramulla opposite the Central Environment Authority leading to the Tri-Forces headquarters. The commander of the army, Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva, took part in the ceremony. The tree plantation programme is expected to increase the forest cover in the country by 30% and is being carried out by the Central Environment Authority in collaboration with the Sri Lanka Army. President Rajapaksa planted a sandalwood sapling to inaugurate the commencement of the National Tree Planting Programme. The Minister of Education, Professor G.L. Piris, says schools will reopen for grades 6 and above from the 23rd of November as previously scheduled. However, this will not apply to the schools in the Western Province and areas currently under lockdown. In addition, students in the Western Province are not allowed to attend schools outside provincial boundaries, while students outside the Western Province may not attend schools in the Western Province. The minister added, considering the disparities in schools which are allowed to reopen from November 23rd, the decisions with regard to each school will be made by a committee led by the principal of each school. The National Operations Centre for the Prevention of COVID-19 Outbreaks says 12,903 persons who contracted the coronavirus have recovered and been discharged from medical care thus far. Meanwhile, the number of coronavirus cases recorded in the country rose to 18,839, following the detection of 439 cases yesterday. 5,867 active coronavirus cases continue to obtain treatment at 55 hospitals in the country. The death toll due to the pandemic in the country thus far stands at 73. Furthermore, 11,398 PCR tests were conducted across the island yesterday to identify coronavirus positive patients. Accordingly, 713,652 tests have been conducted in total thus far. The Sri Lanka Railways has issued an announcement regarding the train services scheduled for this weekend. Accordingly, the General Manager of Railways, M.J.D. Fernando, said the trains will not be operated on any of the lines on the 21st and the 22nd of November. The Media Minister, Kelly Rambukwella, said the final rites of the chief incumbent of the Sri Lanka Ramana Mahanikaya, Agga Mahapandita Napane Pemasiri Mahanayakathera, will be conducted with state honours while adhering to quarantine instructions by the health authorities. Meanwhile, the Mahasangha has requested all Buddhists across the island to fly yellow flags at their residences on Sunday as a mark of respect for the conduct of the final rites of the chief prelate of the Ramaniya chapter, Most Venerable Napane Pemasiri Thera. The final rites will be held under state patronage at the Bandaranaike National School grounds in Varapitiya Kundasale at 2 p.m. on Sunday, the 22nd of November. The remains of the Most Venerable Pemasiri Thera are currently placed at the Sri Vidyasagara Piriven in Hurikkaduwa, Manikin. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
A giant interest rate for your fixed deposit that you deposit this month. Enjoy special interest rates based on deposit amount and the government security. Call 0718 800 999.
The new Palyagoda Manning Market will be vested with the public today under the patronage of Prime Minister and Minister of Urban Development and Housing Mahinda Rajapaksa. The new Manning Market consists of 1,192 shops, a parking lot, restrooms for staff, medical facilities, banks, restaurants, cold rooms and hotels. Parking is available for 600 vehicles, while a special feature is that the market complex is constructed for vehicles to be brought up to shops until the third floor of the four-storey Manning Market. The Manning Market, which is limited to 2 acres in Petta, has been fully converted into a fully fledged wholesale market spread over 13.5 acres. The total cost of the project was 6.9 billion rupees. According to the Urban Development Authority, the new Manning Market will provide a wide range of facilities for traders and consumers. The Committee on Public Enterprises will commence proceedings today after temporarily suspending sessions due to the prevailing COVID-19 pandemic. The chairman, Parliamentarian Professor Charita Herath, said a decision was reached to hold meetings with minimum participation of officials in compliance with COVID-19 guidelines. Accordingly, the special audit report on feasibility study and procurement activities of the Central Expressway project will be taken up before the committee today. COPE has also summoned the chairman of the Road Development Authority, project director, project accountant of the Central Expressway project, the accountant of the Ministry of Highways and other relevant officials, not exceeding 7 persons, for the meeting. Sri Lanka, Israel, Uruguay were added to England's safe travel list on Thursday. Travellers from those countries, as well as Namibia, Rwanda, Bonaire, St. Eustatius and Sabah, the Northern Mariana Islands and the US Virgin Islands, will no longer have to self-isolate on arrival in England from Saturday. British Transport Secretary Grant Shapps said on Twitter, no countries have been removed from the safe list this week. The changes came into effect from 4 a.m. on Saturday as part of the weekly update to so-called travel corridors. Although the restrictions for some travellers are being eased, anyone arriving in England will still have to follow the stay-at-home rules for the rest of the second national lockdown ending on the 2nd of December. That's local news.
An important announcement from HDFC Bank. A giant interest rate for your fixed deposit that you deposit this month. Enjoy special interest rates based on deposit amount and the government security. Call 0718 800 999. HDFC.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
The Department of Manpower and Employment has requested the youth seeking job opportunities to register themselves with the district job centres established at district secretariats across the country. Functioning under the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the department will maintain records of job-seeking youth and direct them for vacancies in both private and public sectors. Further, online registration has also been made available through the Manpower and Employment Department's official website www.gome.gov.lk. That's www.gome.gov.lk. Registered job seekers will be directed to vacancies in either public or private sectors, taking into account their qualifications and preferences. That came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Moving on to Watchlight, the Western Province Chief Secretary's office stated that issuing vehicle revenue licenses in the Western Province has resumed at divisional secretariats located in areas that are not under isolation status. In an announcement, the Chief Secretary JMC Jayanta said the process resumed with effect from November 16th. It further noted that fines will not be levied for renewing of vehicle revenue licenses that expired since October 7th, on which date the service was temporarily halted. This grace period will continue until the 31st of December and came to you in Watchlight. On to a bulletin of world news in the headlines. WHO, lockdowns not needed if 95% wear masks. Pakistan's premier on maiden visit to Kabul says Pakistan will do everything possible to reduce violence in Afghanistan. And Georgia confirms Biden victory after statewide audit. A senior official at the World Health Organization says people in Europe could avoid lockdowns if nearly everyone wears a mask in places where social distancing is difficult. WHO Regional Director for Europe, Hans Kludge, made the comment at a news conference on Thursday. The numbers of daily infections have been surging across Europe. Kludge said 60% of people in Europe or less currently wear masks, and that if the figure were to reach 95%, lockdowns would not be needed. During his maiden visit to Kabul on Thursday, Prime Minister Imran Khan said that Pakistan will do everything possible to help reduce violence in Afghanistan and establish durable peace. Addressing a joint press conference alongside Afghan President Ashraf Ghani at the Presidential Palace, the Premier said that the two countries have historical links. Prime Minister Imran Khan noted that the Afghan people have suffered for 4 decades, and despite the role Pakistan has played in getting the Taliban to speak with Americans and with regards to intra-Afghan dialogue, the level of violence has risen in Afghanistan. Georgia has finished its statewide audit of the razor-thin presidential race, according to a news release from the Secretary of State's office. President-elect Joe Biden beat President Trump by 12,284 votes, according to the final results from the audit. This is a slight drop for Biden compared to the pre-audit results. Georgia plans to certify Biden's victory on Friday. Officials have said repeatedly that the audit confirmed that there was no widespread fraud or irregularities in the election. Back to the headlines of the world news. WHO, lockdowns not needed if 95% wear masks. Pakistan's premier on maiden visit to Kabul says Pakistan will do everything possible to reduce violence in Afghanistan. And Georgia confirms Biden victory after statewide audit. That concludes this bulletin of world news. On to development news. Tokyo Cement Company Sri Lanka plc is expected to sign a supplementary agreement with the Board of Investment of Sri Lanka for the expansion to enhance the production to produce ordinary Portland cement and hydraulic cement by 1 million metric tons per year at the existing location at Cod Bay, China Bay. Trincomalee. In a stock exchange filing, the company stated that based on the preliminary estimates, the project would cost approximately $12 million and will be financed mainly by internally generated funds and bank borrowings. The project is expected to be completed by 24 months. That's development news, and on to sports, it's tennis. Rafael Nadal reached the ATP finals last 4 by beating 2019 champion Stefanos Tsitsipas in 3 sets. The Spanish world number 2 overcame Greek Tsitsipas 6-4, 4-6, 6-2 in London. Nadal, aged 34, had been the more consistent player until losing serve to drop the second set, but fought back to dominate the decider. The 20-time Grand Slam champion will play Russian Daniil Medvedev in the semi-finals at the O2 Arena on Saturday. That's sports news, business news up next.
Empower your dreams with NSV Wings. NSV Wings. Recharge the high goals.
Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The Sri Lanka Automotive Component Manufacturers Association has welcomed the 2021 budget, describing it as a new era for local automotive component manufacturers. Dimantha Javadna, president of the Sri Lanka Automotive Component Manufacturers Association, says that the association is currently in talks with 7 world-renowned automobile companies in order to supply locally assembled and manufactured automobile components. He expressed confidence in a better future for the industry in creating many jobs in the months to come. That's business news, economic news up next.
Business news. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The wait is over and it's time for you to experience happiness. It's time to remap the graph for success. It's time to rebuild your empire. It's time to initiate your entrepreneur dreams. Empower your dreams with NSV Wings. Get your 2-year personal loan for just 7% per annum, starting from 500,000 rupees to 10 million rupees. All you need is just one guarantee. NSV Wings. Recharge the high goals.
Economic news, courtesy of
Business Deals, now easy. It just takes a few taps only. Anytime, get it done, all connected. Best discounts with real time. LOLC Real Time. Now download LOLC Finance Real Time app for your LOLC savings account. Attractive interest rates, transactions anytime, anywhere with a zero cost and no benefits.
The Ceylon Chamber of Commerce welcomes the proposals put forward by the Honourable Prime Minister in the National Budget 2021, which are business-friendly, production-oriented and demonstrative of policy continuity. The Chamber said the budget has focused on boosting economic growth by enhancing exports, providing investment relief for key thrust sectors, supplemented by public investment proposals, promoting capital markets and supporting the growth of startups and SMEs. The emphasis on tax policy continuity and measures announced to strengthen tax administration demonstrates a strong commitment to policy consistency while strengthening and broad-basing revenues. That's economic news.
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down. Everything is sorted. Why? I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
On to the weather report. The Department of Meteorology says showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the western, northwestern, central, Sabragamo and Uva provinces and in the Gaul and Matara districts in the afternoon. Fairly heavy showers, about 75 millimetres, can be expected at some places in the aforementioned areas. The Met Department requests the public to take adequate precautions to minimise damages caused by temporary localised strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The National Tree Planting Programme aimed at planting 2 million trees under the theme of Usmadena Turu programme gets underway. The Department of Manpower and Employment requests youth to register with the district job centres established across the country. Schools reopen on November 23rd except in the Western Province and lockdown areas. The coronavirus recovery tally is on the increase. All trains scheduled for this weekend cancelled. The Mahasangha requests all Buddhists across the island to fly yellow flags at their residences on Sunday as a mark of respect to the late Chief Prelate of the Ramana chapter, Most Venerable Napane Pemasirithera. Lockdowns not needed if 95% wear masks. And Rafael Nadal beats Stefanos Tsitsipas to make last 4.